What is going on, everyone? Tutorial Tim here, and today we're going to go ahead and create this end result here where we have this section and it scales on 4 different breakpoints here. We have a base breakpoint, a tablet, and the mobile landscape view, and also the mobile portrait view. And we have derived this design from a website called fayapp.com, with a section off of that website, and we've applied a bunch of auto layout properties to ensure that it is fluid and responsive as needed to an extent here in Figma. And then also in another video we did our best to code that from scratch, and now we're going to leverage another approach where we use the Figma to Webflow plugin. So for those of you who do not have that plugin, I recommend you go download that and get that set up, and once you do, you can go ahead and select the section here. The link is in the description for this this Figma file. And with this section selected, you're going to select the Figma to Webflow plugin. And once that's done loading, you're going to be able to, once your plugin's configured, select the website you'd like to throw it into. And what I'm going to do is you can select the HTML tag you want it as. I'm going to select section and click copy to clipboard, and I'm going to go back to my Brave browser and delete this section here, and I'm going to select my body, and with my body selected, I'm going to go ahead and even add a just solid fill color here. And then with that, I'm going to paste this here. So here we've got a little update here saying some classes have been renamed to avoid some issues. And long story short, we have our essentially what was an auto layout layer in Figma here in Webflow. And what I want to do to start is go back to this panel, select the body, and I want this to leverage Flexbox properties, so make sure that's selected at the root, set that to vertical, and then I'm going to select section 4 and ensure that the direction is set to horizontal, not horizontal. I just want to ensure that this is also leveraging Flexbox and all of our content's organized as needed. And one of the things we're going to want to adjust at this breakpoint within Webflow is the max width for the header and description here. So with this selected, and since I'm already in this breakpoint, if I go in and modify the width or apply width here, so like say this is max width here, I can go ahead and set it to 656 pixels, which aligns with what was specified in the Figma file. So that parent container has all that set here, and now this is more aligned with the design in our Figma file. And we're going to go ahead and tackle sort of the next breakpoint, since this kind of, this is scaling to our needs right now. But what happens once we get to this tablet view? So I'm going to select this tablet, and we're going to want this image to stack. So what I'm going to do in this breakpoint is ensure that the height is not set to a fixed height. I'm going to change that to auto so it wraps the contents, and it currently doesn't recognize this image within this container because it has a position absolute property which kind of disregards like being wrapped within that container. It's not the best way to explain that, but to achieve the appropriate aesthetic, I'm going to go to position relative and then change this to 0. And yes, it's still kind of, horizontally in line, the image with the text. So what I'm going to do is ensure that the direction is set to vertical so that content is stacking, and then I'm going to apply a gap of like say 40 pixels. So now we've achieved that appropriate space. And then if you even want to take this a little further, we want to ensure that this image in the smaller breakpoints is scaling accordingly. You can change this fit property, so you can set this to, you can see there's various properties here. I'm going to just set this to contain for now at this breakpoint, or if you want you can undo that. I just hit Command Z to undo that, and I'm going to go to the mobile landscape, and you'll see that the image starts getting cropped, and we can see this contain property in real time. So it's adjusting the widths and maintaining the height of the images, and that in its original aspect ratio, which is kind of how this image is adjusting, as you can see, leveraging this contain property here. And what we're going to go ahead and do, instead of kind of messing with the image container, I mean, we could probably fix the height of the box if we wanted to. I don't know if setting it to auto. So setting it to auto would essentially just kind of snap to the contents of the container, which is why there's no more kind of so-called white space above and below when I apply that auto property. So it looks a lot cleaner, and the image kind of looks like it fits, isn't displaced as much visually. So with that applied, we can even make our font smaller here if you're not liking what the font looks like at this breakpoint. So I can set that to 16, and then set that to 16 as well. And what we can also do is, with this text selected, ensure that the text is centered. Let's see here. Okay, so we've centered our text, and we can ensure that the width is set to 100%, so it spans the entire its parent container, if it isn't already. And yeah, with that said, I kind of like where this is going. I'm just going to change this body description as well to font size is 16, and even say this header, so everything fits on one line. And then I'm going to move on down to the mobile breakpoint, and then I'm going to further reduce the size of that header to 30, so that fits on 2 lines. I'm going to keep that font size the way it is. Honestly, just kind of experiment and get comfortable with this tool as well. And here you can see the image adjusting in relation to the width of the breakpoint, and we can even adjust the padding here. I'm just going to set that to 0, or maybe margin, so you can see kind of what's going on here. And then we can fix that and apply, like, say 16 on the left and right. Even though this is the section, you can apply the padding to the section itself, this div, as you can see here. And once you've achieved the look you want, you can go ahead and click this play button to preview this, and you can select the breakpoints or grab this handle to kind of just move it around back and forth. And yeah, that is, you can kind of see some things getting a little weird at the tablet breakpoint where I didn't change the text to center here. So we can go back into this mode, and I'm gonna make sure I have the right layer selected and make sure my text is set to center. I'm going to go back to toggling to the preview mode, and now I think I'm liking what's going on here. So that is kind of the moral of the story here, I recommend you going in and continuing to tweak things. Maybe you don't like, the tight padding on the left and right of this container. Maybe you can beef that up or do whatever you want. Maybe even learn some motion and throw that in via Webflow. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share with friends, and I'll catch you in the next one.